Hello, everyone. Happy Friday, and welcome to the couch. Tonight, we're presenting episode 23 of I'm Not Confined, but I probably should be. And we got a real good one for you tonight. Queued up in the streaming machine, we have it's what I think is maybe the culmination of the pre 9/11 sensibilities in this country. It's the natural evolution from where we were left off from Clueless, as we go from pristine materialism of the late 90s to the counterculture punk chic materialism of the aughts. When places like Express and J. Crew are getting replaced by places like Gadzooks and Hot Topic. Oh, and this movie is a musical. So, bonus points! We're going to be watching Josie and the Pussycats. Don't oh. I'm sure it's a fine movie. So, Josie has a kind of interesting journey to get from where she started off to a feature film of her own. Josie and the Pussycats, they first started out as characters living in Riverdale alongside Archie and Jughead and Betty and Veronica in that comic book and comic strip line of, the 40s and 50s and 60s. And during the early 60s, Josie and her friends started to appear in the comics as other members of the school and the community. They started off as just a girl gang. And by the end of the 60s, the idea had changed, and they morphed them from a girl gang into a band. And this turned out to be a brilliant idea because during the 60s, a cool cat themed band of chicks was very appealing to the Woodstock, sexual revolution, and feminism generations. They were so popular that Hanna-Barbera went to the Archie publisher and said, "Hey, look, can we use them to create a Saturday morning cartoon? We think it would be very successful." And Archie's publisher said, "Absolutely, go right ahead. Just be sure to sign the checks at the end of the month." And it was incredibly successful. It worked out very well for everybody involved. Hanna-Barbera had a hit series for several years, so much so that the characters from Josie and the Pussycats were able to move on and become guest stars on other Hanna-Barbera properties such as Jabberjaw and Scooby-Doo and Hanna-Barbera All-Stars. But the cartoon, it finished up its run around 1975, but it also ran in syndication for the next 20 or so years, picking up a whole new generation of fans. So, trying to capitalize on those fans and the newly emerging comic book craze in movies in 2000-ish, this film was made. So, go from comic book to cartoon to movie, and over its period of 40 years. It's an interesting journey. So we're going to watch it. Doc and Teddy have a bet going. They heard of this drinking game that college kids apparently play with this movie. I guess you drink every time you see a product placement or brand logo. For example, if I held up this bottle of Coke, that's a product placement. Teddy's got one too. You can hold up his bottle of Coke. Sadly, we will not get any money for this placement since we don't have any agreement with Coke, but lots of movies do. This sort of thing, they do it to offset costs and to improve profits. However you want to look at it. I'm not taking part in the bet though. If you've been watching my videos, you know how I feel about alcohol, and I'm just gonna let them do their business. So here we go. We'll see you on the other side. You okay, Doc? Oh.
I'm so full. I feel like a blown up balloon.
Yeah, you look that way too. Mm. Hey, Doc, you want us to go on without you?
No! I'm not forfeiting to that bear!
How much longer is this film?
Oh, well, let's see. Looks like the movie is about 98 minutes, and we have watched 17 minutes. So I guess 80 minutes left? Plus or minus the credits.
Oh.
So we just finished the film, and it appears I'm going to be finishing the show on my own. They made it about an hour into the film playing their game, just doing shots every time a brand popped up. And then this scene happened, and they both fainted.
More coasters!
I'm just going to let them sleep it off. Teddy is just, he is like a big water bag filled with all this stuff. I hope he doesn't pee in his sleep. Anyway, let's get on with the plot. Oh, and I'm going to do a spoiler-filled plot synopsis. So if you don't want to see any spoilers, just go to this point in the video, and you'll be able to skip all the spoilers. Okay, we start off the movie meeting De Jour, a Backstreet Boys NSYNC style boy band. They're on their plane with their manager Wyatt, who is played by former Nightcrawler actor Alan Cummings. When the band approaches Wyatt with concerns about strange background tracks on their new single, Wyatt dodges the question, and he runs to the cockpit and tells the pilot to crash the plane. He jumps out and parachutes to safety. Next, we meet Melody, Val, and Josie, our heroes, our trio of friends trying to make it as a big bad rock star rock band. We see them as they're chased away from a storefront trying to play their music on the street, and they're having to run away from the police. Wyatt sees them, and having been ordered by his boss to find a replacement band for De Jour as quickly as possible, he pounces on this opportunity and offers them a record contract, even though he's never heard any of their music. The girls jump at this opportunity. They're so eager to make it as rock stars. They're whisked away to New York to become the biggest thing in pop rock music, which happens very quickly.
Wait! Does anyone else think it's a little strange that all this happened in a week? No!
We soon find out that Wyatt and his boss, Fiona, are working with the government to control the youth of America.
The government has been planting small subliminal advertising suggestions in today's rock music. The results? We can now get these kids to buy just about anything. We can have them chasing a new trend every week. And
A subplot develops where Wyatt is able to subliminally brainwash Josie into trying to become a solo act, so he can kill off Melody and Val, who are becoming too suspicious.
and Melody are mean, evil girls. You should have a solo career.
But Josie overcomes and saves her friends, and she ultimately saves the world from a planned global simulcast intended to brainwash anyone who tuned in. In the end, they manage to turn off all these subliminal messages, and or do they?
That the subliminal messages work much better in movies.
Josie and the Pussycats is the best movie ever.
And we all live happily ever after. Josie and the Pussycats is the best movie ever. The truth is, I really did like this movie. It's fun and it takes an interesting, albeit melodramatic turn, but overall it brings a smile. When this movie shines is in the music, though. We get one song from Du Jour, which is very reminiscent of the early 90s Paula Abdul hit Cold Hearted Snake. And we get one song from would-be boyfriend of Josie, Alan M. The rest of the music, though, is all Pussycats. And it is pop rock at its finest. Though Rachel Lee Cook took the role of Josie, her singing voice was played by fantastic vocalist for Letters to Cleo, Kay Hanley. Now, this is not where I recognized her voice from. I recognized her voice from apparently another cartoon. Kay also provided the voice for Jenny O in the preteen rock band show Generation O, on the cartoon of the same name, Generation O.
Boys, always bubble bouncing off the wall. Yeah, boys, mouth real big and brain too small.
These songs in Josie and the Pussycats fit into her voice. She has the chops to sing a lyric melody, but also to screech like a true hard rock icon. Performance-wise, we get some pretty fine performances from Alan Cumming and Parker Posey as at their quirky best. Rachel Lee Cook is delightfully appealing as the girl next door type with just a hint of tough girl rocker. And Rosario Dawson as the best friend with a bit of an inferiority complex is very relatable. But it's Tara Reid who provides the most entertaining performance. I know, right? This movie did come out just before all of her real struggles came to light in real life. But in this, she is delightful as a bubbly, innocent, airheaded drummer of the Pussycats, Melody. Her naivete reminds me of another character I love.
So you're gonna fill in. Oh, yes, please. I will be most happy to sit on your babies.
Just every time she's on screen, it makes you smile.
If I could go back in time, I'd want to meet Snoopy. I say, we raise money for a search party and we hold a big sale. Yes. Happy and clap your hands. If you're happy and clap your hands. If you're happy and you want to show it. If you're happy and clap your hands.
Now, if you just watched this for story or for music or for the performances, you'd be entertained enough. But if you step back and watch the movie for subtext, you'll be struck hard with what is possibly the best meta joke in history. This movie's plot is blatantly anti-consumer culture. They take pains to point out the big record label trying to get consumers to buy anything and everything through subliminal messaging and how that's really, really bad.
I'm a trend pimp.
They present this idea while simultaneously and undeniably doing the same exact thing to us as the movie's watchers. Because product placement is nothing but a subliminal coercion technique. But because of the amount of product placement in this film, because it's so exaggerated, it stops becoming subliminal and becomes overt. We can tell the filmmakers were making a clever protest statement. By putting so much overt branding in the film, the idea of branding is parodied, suggesting we ask ourselves, why do I care if my shoes are Nike or if I shop at Target? The importance of this realization is even stronger in today's society, as people are branding everything, including their own selves. We don't ask ourselves enough if we're buying the product or are we buying the brand. Do we buy Nike shoes because the product is better or because we've just always been a Nike girl? This movie helps us step out of that mindset and gain a bit of perspective. For this and many other reasons, I'm giving Josie and the Pussycats 2 thumbs. Guys? Okay, I guess we have this for our rating. Since our traditional thumb system is not going to work tonight, I'll just say, go ahead and check this out. You won't be sorry. It's worth the 98 minutes. But might I suggest skipping the drinking game? Nobody wants this. It's not pleasant. I have to drain Teddy later. That won't be fun. Anyway, thanks for joining us tonight on the couch for episode 23 of I'm Not Confined, but I Probably Should Be. Please like, share, and subscribe as always. And until next time, remember, the couch is like a good friend. It's filled with cushions and springs, and it lets you sit on it. Good night.
This is not very private.
No, it's not, but I can't have you staying that big. You gotta get back down to your right size. It's all just water weight anyway. Damn, Teddy.